What's up,
What's
folks?
good?
Patriot Business Alliance back on. Trifecta in the room.
What's up?
Room winning on Wednesday. We all know how we're going to kick this day off. We're going to kick it off with these wins.
That's it, man. Y'all having a good day?
Everybody's having a good day.
Oh,
it was
man,
a fantastic day for me.
Remarkable day.
It was a great day, but it wasn't so yesterday or the day before. A lot of mental hiccups and you know what I mean. You ever
Force
been
of
there?
average getting
Force
you
of
down?
average.
Yeah,
Just
that's yesterday.
making you know, when you make growth and you go to these different seasons in life, you know, that goes back to that analogy that we use of the devil's outside doing push-ups, the force of average, the universe punching you in the you know what I mean? So yeah, it was definitely
You wanted to.
it's definitely, you know, let me see. So I can hit the scary button. So yeah, over the past couple of days, you know what I mean? There was some huge growth with inside of my personal relationship with wife, kids, and there's some personal growth inside the business and making tough choices and things like that, which are all wins. When you fight through those struggles that you're having with somebody out in the open, right? You really begin to see the change. You know what I mean? So enough about me, all about KC. Let's hear some of those big wins if you've had this past week, brother.
So, one, huge thanks to Jeff Skinner. Huge thanks to Jeff Skinner. Sorry if I blew your eardrum out, Jeff. He's got his Bluetooth in. But
Just checking the audio.
wanted to, Jeff has always been there for me and my business. And Black Level will always be there for you and your business. And I can't thank you enough for a lot going on. We got, Terrell office completely under construction for the last 10 days and internet down, internet up. Jeff came to the rescue. Just can't thank him enough. I'm down there trying to, do all the things, manage all the things. Really, guys, you need an alliance. You need a team of teams. And also for calling me out of my bull when I need to be called out on my bull. So, sometimes you let the force of average get with you. I was talking to some colleagues of mine that I drill with. It's one of the first things I do every day, and that's a win. I want to say thanks to Rebecca and Canadian Jose. I don't know if you're out there watching, but thank you guys for being amazing teammates.
You guys, Canadian Jose.
Yeah, it's his name, Canadian Jose.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool handle.
Just
Cool handle. Check him out on the IG. IG, what's up?
there's IG always.
Yeah, I think I see Rebecca in the chat on the IG feed. But here's the deal. Get a team, right? Get yourself a 93 Bulls. Get yourself a 2010 Mavericks. Get yourself an alliance of people who are going to lift you up, call you out on your bull, make you better, make you drill, go through that practice like you play. And that's one of the things that we bring every week after week after week. So, that's a huge win for me. And I would say on a personal level, 2020 force of average took down the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
I broke my back in a 3,000 mile motorcycle ride across South America on the last day, 42 miles from the airport. And then the COVID hit, you're stuck at home, can't go to the gym, can't exercise. And, it's been a long recovery back. So, just little wins. Like I haven't worn this suit since 2019.
Seriously.
It fits today. Bam.
Grinding.
Right. So getting on that, getting out there, getting in that gym week after week, day after day, whatever that is, man. Even if it's just walking, make it happen. Do it.
You got to make the time.
Like GP said, right? Let's do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's good to see you. You look good as always.
Jeff, I wasn't going to say it, but man, he is looking pretty sharp today. and that damn gray hat just flows real well with that suit.
Yeah.
That you
It
got
works
going
for him,
on.
too,
It
'cause it
does
fits
work.
him.
It fits
Yeah,
him.
it's the only hat. It's the only hat. We love you. Post-net, but man, these hats are.
We love them. Thanks, DB.
Yeah, we like this Velcro one. Us big-headed fellers.
That's right.
That's what we like to call those apple hats.
So if you guys love these hats, hit us up. We'll get you one.
Yeah, we'll
get you guys.
We got
one
a
of
few
these
left
hats.
from the.
We got a handful left, but
See right there.
boom.
Check that out.
Yeah.
And then we got
It's got the colors on the side too. Get some, boy.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeff? You got
Jeff.
any pretty crazy wins. I mean, you had told me something when you walked in the door earlier this afternoon, man.
Oh,
and
man.
I'm super pumped to hear hear about it.
You're damn right, man. I hired my second technician this week, man. He started this week, and yeah, I'm freaking growing, man. I'm growing.
That is huge.
That
It's,
is fantastic.
I
What
kind of
a-
had an epiphany today too. We were standing outside after we finished up a job. We knocked out a home theater today, and it just really went smooth. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why it did, and I'll go into those later with our content. But I stepped back, man, and I said, man, a year ago, this was just me, man. This is just me grinding, doing everything I possibly could by myself, hiring some guys here and there to help me out. And that whole time, I'm super grateful for the guys that helped me. But I just thought this isn't the way to do it, right? And by leaning on you guys and then talking through some things, I hired Big Country, and then we got him to a point where I hired my new guy, Parker, this week. And he started Tuesday. And so far, so good, man. So I'm blessed that I'm in a position to be able to, number one, grow new leaders within my company, and number two, be in business. The simple things, right?
That's huge. That's huge, man. And growth is scary.
Yeah,
it is.
And oftentimes it's not often that people want to come and work for you, right? So tell me a little bit, Jeff, on how Parker found you. Like, why did he even look you up to come to work? Did you get him off an advertisement? Did Country find somebody and say, hey, man, come work for this dude? What do you think drove Parker to Black Level?
I think it's culture. I think he noticed, that we're a different breed of AV professionals.
Mm-hmm.
I think he loved the fact that we're involved locally, and that was a big conversation topic for both of us. That he's local, we're local, and there's a strategic reason why Black Level AV stays local, Rockwall County and surrounding areas. So when you call me on a Tuesday morning and you say, I need everything right now, let's go, I can move some things around and we can make that happen for not only you, but for all of our clients, right? So if you find me in Coppell or Mansfield, how quick can I really get to you, right? So those ideas are down the line, but it was a synergy between the conversation I had with him, the terminology he used, the confidence in his voice, and the willingness in his voice to say, look, man, I just want to learn. I think what you guys do is awesome. I just want to be a part of it. And what slapped me in the face is at the Apex Live, when dude stood up on the stage and was talking about hiring and recruiting and the difference between the two. And he says he wants people that call him to say, I don't know what y'all do. I don't even care. I just want to be a part of it. And that's kind of how it went down, man. Yeah. So I threw it in the universe and it came, and it's here. It's now, right? So we're moving and grooving. And obviously there's a hierarchy between when you start growing, the command, you have to be the leader up top to create leaders at the bottom. So you do that with communication, and then we'll talk about that shortly. But man, I'm pumped, dude. This is something I've been working towards for a long time, and we're there. I got 2 more guys I want to hire, and then I think I'm good with where we can dominate our
for
market.
now.
No. I've been in that 15-20 technician world, and your clients are now paying for your payroll. They're not paying for your quality. So I have a plan, 4 or 5 technicians, and we can be profitable. We can dominate the market space, right? And we can all make good money. I would love nothing more than for Jared and Parker in a year from now to go, bro, I'm buying a house, and it's because you hired me.
And
that's really what it's.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, when you know that, and Doc, you're about to say something, but if I might, when you know that what you're doing is not just, the whole point of this alliance and the whole point of bettering ourselves and being better than you were yesterday is right. Because you can't get there if you don't take people with you. But when you know that you're providing an opportunity to level up for everybody in your team, right? Like you said, somebody's going to buy a house. Somebody that I work with wants one of these benchmark guys, GP or William Branch, from the Branch, they want to talk to the people they've seen on this show because, hey, I need this loan and I need that loan. And I saw these people on your show because you've given me the opportunity to do something I never thought I could do after maybe a decade, maybe 2 decades in different business sectors. And that is to put a roof over their head. That
shout out to the William Branch Group and GP both, because they're doing great things and they're dominating their market space. And if you haven't looked either one of them up, man, highly recommend you do so. What about you, Doc? You
Yeah,
sitting over
Doc.
there asking all the questions. What's the wins, buddy?
There was strategery behind me, letting you guys roll forward.
Because you needed to think it
I
through.
was like, oh shit, where are my wins at?
Hey, it happens, though, man.
but real talk, I mean, we're winning all the time, right? Because it's always about that mindset shift that we're waking up, right? Getting those 5 to 6
Yeah.
gratitudes in and understanding. So a couple of big personal wins is, again, strengthening my bond between my wife and I. You know what I mean? Sharing, just becoming just that next level of being honest with each other and just going and being prepared to let it all hang out and kind of opening up the books and just, you know what I mean? So
Yes.
huge win for just continually be happily married, be a happy dad and husband and father, you know what I mean? So love those guys. Love you, Rochelle, out there. I mean, I'm just really, really grateful for that. They support me and care about me. And so that's what's really big for me. And that's what's on me. Another win, we added 2 more salesmen to the dog team. It's like, fuck, you better try that shit again.
Yeah.
I just think I heard something drop when you did the woos.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I still got a little range.
I tell you.
I got the range of Johnny Cash most of the time.
Yeah, get with them buttons, Doc. I love that shit. You know what's cool, man, is I've known you.
Does he even know what he's pushing?
Yeah, he's got them up there. But I think I've known you and maybe one other
It's
two.
like Roy G. Biv. What is that?
I don't think I've really known, and I don't communicate with anyone and call someone like a brother and a friend like I do with you. And I've known you a long time, and I've seen the progression, and for you to sit up here and just kind of really give gratitude and thanks to your wife, that's huge, man, because they support us. And so, I mean, every Wednesday, guys, for 2 years we've been sitting up here instead of at home doing these things. They get behind us, they're proud of us. So shout out to all of our wives. You guys are phenomenal. I just wanted to reiterate that because I don't think they hear it enough. Yeah, I'm not anybody without my wife.
That's 1,000%. Like
She straight up saved my life.
Yeah, and
So
they've taken me back from the mean streets, and they've hit me. You know what I mean?
yeah, it can be a pain in the ass too. Don't get me wrong. I love you, but damn,
Not you, not you, Rochelle. You're definitely not.
son of a
fucking
this
good.
fucking guy over here.
I mean, I don't know. I got nothing. Jennifer, what I say, when the judge tells me that I don't in the divorce, you're going to get everything. And that I'll just move into the garage with the cats and the motorcycles. It'll be fine.
We're all going.
That same cat that was climbing on you.
Yeah, that's it. Super cat. Super cat.
So let's check it out, man. I love the positivity, and I like how you step back because sometimes it is tough, right? There's some days where, I do my G Code app every day, and there's some days when it's like, did you have any wins today? And some days I'm honest, I'm like, no, I can't really think of anything. But if you're out there and you're in that 1, 2 year, 3 year mark in your business, and you feel like you don't have wins, I promise you, sitting here at the 4.5 year mark, 7 year mark, 11 year mark, I promise you have them. You just got to stop and pump the brakes and just think, right? The noise sometimes clouds the things that you're doing and can really get inside your head. You talk about how the devil's outside doing push-ups. Well, guys, what that means to us is that there's a force out there that's trying to keep the noise in your head so loud that you can't be proud of your accomplishments. You can't celebrate your wins. And just naturally, the instinct is to think negative. You have to push through that.
Yeah, and I couldn't have described it any better of what that means. But at the end of the day, we need to give you guys some solid gouge.
Hey, audience, throw it in the chat. Audience, throw your wins, your gratitudes in the chat.
Yeah, let us know. Be proud of your wins. Don't hide them.
Is that Lewis?
Don't hide
Hey,
them,
brother, we love you, man. We are behind you. We are with you, Lewis.
Yeah, I hope he's on the mend. He's
On the
up
mend.
there.
Yeah.
And, so COVID ain't got shit on Louis. He's coming back tougher, stronger, faster, and with a whole bunch of love in his heart. So we can't wait to have you back either. So tonight we're going to be diving a little bit deep into another characteristic trait of a leadership, and that's effective communication. One that I've struggled with for a very long time, where I still am trying to get better every single day, because sometimes I think that some of the stuff is too small to communicate, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't really need to know that detail. I mean, they should be smart enough to be able to figure out what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
why don't these people know how my brain works? And at the time, I don't know how my doggone brain operates either.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's why we call it a brain housing group.
that's right. It's just up there, chaos at any given time. So we want to dive a little bit deeper on different modalities of ways to communicate, effective communication tools. It's not a glamorous topic, but man, it is is extremely important that we understand it.
Yeah. And so recap. What is leadership, right? I like defining things for you, the listeners, viewers, what have you, right? So leadership, state or position of being in charge, right? And what the heck does that mean, right? Well, to lead means the action, keyword action plus group of people in an organization, right? So why is this important? It's about reaching full potential. It's about helping your team reach full potential. And that requires understanding and communicating. And more importantly, that you understand how your team's communicating to you and vice versa. Jeff picked this topic. He actually threw some notes out there, and we took some, we took some of it, broke it down a little bit, because I think it's absolutely critical.
Yeah.
Part of the, Led Zeppelin, communication breakdown, right? I mean, this is not a new concept.
Mhm.
And when things go wrong, and they can go wrong, communication, right, is how things go wrong often, and how things go right, how you fix what went wrong. Communication's in both corners of that equation. So, it's also a critical part of leadership, right? So
I would venture out to say that it's a critical part of being a human.
Yeah.
I mean,
For sure.
I'm not trying to make a joke. I'm being dead serious. I mean, my history started in communications as a field radio operator.
right.
And there's no more important. We can battle about this all day. Doc's important, artillery's important, whatever. But when communication breaks down, think about what happens in your business or your relationship or your marriage, right? So, take this. If this doesn't apply to your business tonight, take this and just run with it personally, because this is how we resolve issues. This is how we show gratitude.
Yep.
This is how we clearly manage the expectations for our team.
Mm-hmm.
Just sat down with Jared Monday, I think it was, and said, look, we're bringing a new guy on. Here's what I need to know. I asked him first, what do you expect from me? I need his communication. I need his input, right? So that way I can set him up for success. And then I said, okay, I'm going to read these back to you, make sure I got this right. I'm listening, right? So communication is also listening.
Yes.
Right? So it's not just running your suck and then hoping somebody catches it. And then I read back to him what he told me. And then I said, okay, here's my expectations. And we went through communication. I actually literally pulled up these notes and we read through these notes together, and we talked about them again today, because it means so much to me. I've been in situations where I'm the guy who's in charge of managing the job, and this is civilian sector stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't have the communication or the expectations clearly lined out. So how can I tell you, my teammate, hey bro, this is what we're trying to do, when I don't even know? So this goes through more than what you think. It's not just business. It's a
daily lifestyle.
Daily lifestyle. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, and that's actually so. Canadian Jose, Rebecca, this is something we drilled on earlier today.
I love that name.
Yeah, isn't it great?
I would say his full name every time too.
I think I need to change my name to like Rockwell KC or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Do it now.
Rockwell KC is going to be my new handle.
Do it now.
Oh, on my knuckles?
Yeah.
The judges will love that.
RCKC.
Yeah, RCK. Hey, I kind of like that. Might be my new Insta handle.
Come on with it.
Okay, but that was the thing. It's like we drill on sales training, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are constantly drilling so that we are precise, we are concise, we say what we mean, we say it in an understandable way. But something, and this was Jeff again, right? Saying you got to bring that same level of effort in how you communicate needs to be brought to everywhere you communicate.
Consistency.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, live up to what, the rhetoric of these broadcasts, which is practice like you play, right? You're going to be a true leader,
Mm-hmm.
right? That professional level of communication needs to be in everywhere you communicate, to your kids, to your alliance, to your colleagues, to your vendors, to your friends.
Oh man, and it goes back to your core values too. You know what I mean? As far as how your core values align with communication and what that means to your business. Because at the end of the day, man, it's a transfer of information from one person to another, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, when you break it down to the Webster's dictionary,
That is what they said.
right?
Yeah, I
It's
looked it up this
transfer
morning.
of information from one person to the other.
Yep.
And at that point, you're hoping to clearly define your expectations. So
Right.
the communication goes hand in hand with expectations. Like, how are you going to know as an employee or even a boss how the employee feels if you don't communicate your expectations?
I know that in the industries that I'm in, I mean, hell, not even in the industry, just in my home life.
Yeah.
Right. One ineffective communication
Oh man, it could change your whole day.
to your wife, to your child,
Yeah.
to anything.
Yeah,
And tone.
yeah.
Right. I can't.
Daddy,
tell
why are
how-
you so upset?
I can't tell you how important tonality is.
Yeah, the body language too.
So there's so many different ways of communications that can go wrong, right?
Yes.
And I'll tell you, just recently, I sent one of my clients a text message. Hey, when's a good time to swing by and pick up the check? This is what's owed. He read it as, I'm coming over to pick up money and I'm demanding it. And I was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
And it's difficult through text,
You know, and
yeah.
And even phone calls can be, right? Because we're moving so fast, right? We're moving so fast. We're communicating and consuming so much communication so quickly. You're on the phone. You also may be scrolling through your text log because that's blowing up. The chat in your text is
Dude, I don't know another man's phone that rings as much as this guy's.
yeah, right. I
I'm
mean,
serious.
maybe KJ with 4 phones.
yeah, but he's calling himself at those
Yeah.
phones. So that's,
We see you, KJ.
Hey, KJ. We love you though, bro, man. We love you, man.
Burner phones running around.
Yeah, you gotta,
So that doesn't make you important if you call yourself a bunny.
Yeah. So listen to this: your tone of voice, choice of words, and physical actions
yeah.
combine to affect those you lead. Let me just say those 3 key things: your voice, your choice of words, and your physical actions. There's no way in hell you can send somebody a text message and on the other end have any control of how they read that. Right?
You're telling me.
And we'll be transparent like we always are. Casey and I had a very uncomfortable discussion with each other this week.
Yeah.
We were both stressed. It was early, things were going down. But at the end of the day, we now understand each other better because we were able to talk after the fact and again communicate. Hey, this is where I went left on you. This is where I went left on you.
Yeah.
Hey, let's come back to the middle because that's where we're winning. Right. So it's okay to have those tough conversations. And sometimes you're going to have frustrating conversations, you hollering and spitting and yelling and whatever, but never forget that you hold that resentment only if you allow yourself to.
Right.
I believe you have to have those knockout, drag out conversations.
Absolutely.
That is how you grow. That is, especially as you continue to grow your company and you're putting somebody in the position that you were once in, right? So I'm hiring somebody to take my place. Now that person is making decisions they're doing it correctly,
Not the doctor.
but it's not being done in the same modality that I would do it in.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you start crossing, but at the end of the day, the result is going to be the same. And sometimes we just be like, no, bro. And then we have to kind of just scream it out and then hug it out and then freaking go back and say, all right, cool. Let's get back to what's important,
Yeah.
which is making our wins, making progress, doing better.
Well, we've said it 100 times on there. You have to have the tough conversations, even with your daggone self.
Exactly.
You know?
You have to in order to grow. But what I liked what you said, and it's so effective that I actually took hold of it. Jeff said that he wrote down the expectations, had him read it, and then you repeated it back to him, right? During your during his conversation, he's like, so what I heard you tell me was, and by doing that, folks, it's not going to the Department of Redundancy. What we're doing is we're gaining clarity.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because the way words land on our ears is different for every single person that's listening. Just like he said,
yeah,
when you read a text message, the the word, you can't hear the tone, you can't hear the love, you can't hear the hate, you can't hear any of it.
You create your own message.
That's right. You
Sometimes.
perceive that whole message,
Mhm.
or you try to think of, well, how did he?
Well, and that's exactly how our conversation and our frustrating topic of conversation started was by text,
Yeah.
because there was no, you couldn't hear it in our voices. You know, you can say 3 sentences to someone 3 different ways, and that's why it goes back to, you know, the weight, your tone of voice, how you say it, and your body. Hey, don't forget about the body language. Okay,
Mhm.
an employee does that to me, we're having a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or it's like, hey, I got that, boss. I'm on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? And now that's a totally different conversation. That's a totally different level of communication.
It is. It
Totally different.
It's, and let's face it, even when you're on the phone together, right, or
Exactly,
Zoom or
Jared.
whatever, you know, you can still have, because we are all moving at the speed of business in 2021, and you know, that means you're distracted, right? As a general rule, that means you're probably multitasking, whether you're in the car.
We all
That
do
means
it.
60% of your attention
Mhm.
is on the road or more, right? Because you're hands free, maybe 80%, right? You know, that being said, you're not dialed in. You are not where your feet are, right? So you're not, and that was exactly what happened to you and I this week.
Yeah.
When we were on the phone, you had things going on and I was driving. So I had things going on in my head,
Yeah, you're going 100 miles an hour.
right? So we're both thinking about our entire workday. We're phoning it in, literally phoning it in on this phone conversation, right? So there's already miscom 1. We didn't go to the, you know, read it back, right?
Mhm.
Again, something we learned in the military, right?
Yeah.
Or not just in the military, but learned that, you know, at my first couple of jobs, which was task is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Okay, boss, I got it.
This is
And
what you
so
want me to do.
this is what you want me to do.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you know, whether that boss is a private client that, you know, we're picking up one of their heavy trucks. You know, I worked at a heavy truck shop, and I just wanted to make sure that my people were taken care of, right? So we need to do this preventative maintenance wise, and then you want us to check 1, 2, and 3, right? I just read it back to them, exactly what I put on the work order, right? That scope of work is so critical. So we were clear.
Yeah,
Right.
Amy just said it right here. Amy, that's a great comment. She says, I can definitely tell when I'm talking to someone on the phone and they're focused on something else.
Yes.
There's nothing more frustrating than trying to clearly explain what you need done or how you can help someone, and they're off in la la land.
Right.
Amy, I'm with you. That pisses me off to no end. So
I'm the biggest offender of that. So,
Yeah.
like I am, because
this
my
guy
phone
just called me on
rings.
accident too. Though.
Just the phone rings so often,
Yeah.
or you communicate so often, right?
Yes.
If your whole day is consistently talk, and it's just
And you get home and the old lady wants to talk.
I have calm reserves in my pocket for her.
Yeah.
I've already
Well, you're a
sliced
good one
that.
with it. You love that woman today.
I'm telling you what, like that's how y'all know I fucked up. Sorry.
What?
What? Hey.
You know,
Keith, I hope you didn't hear
Keith,
that.
sorry about that. You know what I mean? Because in marriage, you have problems. If you've been married, then you understand that.
No,
It's
man, never cross
There's
words.
no magic. It's all about finding
Communication.
hitting the damn head on the wall a few times, walking away, being quiet, coming back, and reconvening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love comms. Comms is what makes me a great salesman.
Your strong
Right.
suit. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I love comms. I'm a wordsmith. I can speak and I can stop and I can listen. Right. That is my bread and butter. If I wasn't able to communicate, I would be. I know. That's why. I said that,
Hey! Don't ever. Here's a great lesson
know.
here. Here's a great lesson here from Doc. Don't ever forget that every communication is an opportunity to be on a stage.
That's right.
And when you're on a little micro stage in front of your wife or your kids, or, you know, big takeaway from Tom Keenan, right? Kids, are you acting like a champion? Maybe most profound thing I heard about parenting in a really long time, right? Are you behaving like a champion right now?
Wow,
Are you
that's crazy.
aspiring to be a champion right now?
I've literally been telling my son that for a week straight. When he gets out of the truck,
Yeah.
be a champion. I had no idea it came from that.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. But just the other thing about
That's good.
Doc, like, you know, I'm in a parking lot, I'm at the Kroger, I'm at this, I'm at that, and I know that I'm on a little stage with the kid who's pushing the basket, whose job I might have had 30 years ago, or the bank teller, a job I never could have got in high school. And I'm just like, hey man, it's so cool. You got always that moment of kindness. You're on that little stage with that one-on-one person, and be where your feet are. Amy Johannesson talks about that a lot, but that's a great point, right? And it's not just selling, right? Because there's nothing disingenuous about it. You're only trying to brighten that person's day, right? There's nothing dishonest or disingenuous. It's
Well, what and how you communicate,
yeah,
it either builds trust or it breaks trust. Would you
Truth.
say that's on? Is that pretty?
Absolutely. But I do also know that in communication, people can hear your smile.
true.
Okay.
That's for damn sure, man.
You can.
Absolutely.
Like when you are talking with a person and they're energetic and they got a lot of vibe going on, and you can hear it, right? You can feel it. You're like, man, this dude's happy. This guy's
positive.
What's he?
I gotta get some of that.
What's wrong with this guy? Nothing can be this happy, and I promise you, folks, it is, because it is. I'm stupid grateful and happy at all times, unless, and if I do get into the ditches,
Yeah.
I make my phone calls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where I was Monday and Tuesday. I made my phone calls. I called people that I needed to talk to, that I needed to work some things out mentally. You know what I mean? A lot of times we harbor those things and we fear those things, that we need to talk to somebody, but we just don't want to. And I'm the kind of guy that I want to talk to somebody that has no way, shape, or form ever getting back to anybody in the circle, right? It just makes me feel more comfortable. So I know some people out of state that I'll call on that knows my background and understands my background, and they've been through those same ditches, and I can call them and I can just be 100%.
Though, man.
It just makes me feel better.
Well, but we talk about that too, right? If you're in a position in your business and you need help, we've said it in the past, ask people that have nothing to do with your industry.
Right.
Same goes with your trials and your tribulations. If you feel like you need to get something off your chest and you just want it to be far away from everything else,
Yeah.
man, call your Uncle Joey and
Call Mike Bassett.
Yeah.
Call Mike Bassett, dude.
I mean, I like
Somebody.
that idea, Doc. I do, because when you run in the same circle like we do, and we're always communicating and always together or whatever, sometimes you just need different perspectives.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Not at all.
So it doesn't make any, but the important thing is I was stuck, and it was intentional. I made the intentional act of picking up the phone and calling somebody and saying, hey, this is how I'm feeling.
You are self-aware.
You become self-aware when you become honest with yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
When your communication is 100% transparent, when your comms are on fleek. I think that's the word of the year.
Don't
right?
ever use that on this show again.
What? My kid told me it was cool. He said it was cat.
Rewind that shit back.
He said it's cat. It's like, that's so cat. And I was like, yeah. But no, Jeff is now telling me that it's not.
You gotta
correct.
be kidding me.
You don't like that?
No, dude.
See, comms, people, comms. I should have ran this past the comms guy prior to talking.
That's the next sign that goes up back here. No fleek.
No flicking around, folks. That's what our new F word
I don't even
is.
know what that is.
It's the new F word.
Okay.
So we can say fleek all the time.
Well, look, man. I mean,
Okay.
here's the big takeaway from whatever tunnel we just went down is that leaders communicate their standards, right? Either by example or by verbal or with something, right? Right. So what behaviors you're gonna support, what you're gonna praise, and what you're gonna push down, what you're gonna punish, right?
Yeah, when they
So,
understand exactly
whatever that word was, the comms guy is not down with it, right? So that is not that it's verbally been condemned. It's going to go up on a board, so there's going to be an example, right? So like, we often talk about athletes and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And why? Because they lead by example. They are inspiring, right? Tom Brady, Jerry Rice, insert name of successful, what have you. They don't come out on the field in some scuffed up, ripped up uni, man. They're looking right. So they're exemplifying, speaking through their appearance, right? Like what, so if there's a sign up here next week that says no
fleeking around,
then we know that by example, the comms guy has shut that down.
Something you just brought up a whole different perspective on this topic. And let's talk a little bit about how communication and your branding go hand in hand. Right? Because we all know comms usually 90% comes from the mouth or a text message or whatever. Let's talk about how you can use your branding to effectively communicate to your clients what type of business you are. I mean,
Boom!
we live our brand.
I
Right?
think
We do.
the in regards to that, the simpler, the easier.
Mhm.
The bigger, the better. That's why I have another company, USA Mobile Drug Testing of Dallas.
That's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful. I talked to my franchise about it. I was like, oh, this is dumb. But hey, they make more money than I do. So at the time, I said, fine, I'll run with it. I made an acronym, USA, right? But then when I came up with the second name of the new company, Doc's Roofing, there is no question what I do. The communication is there.
Mhm.
The name is easy to remember.
Yeah.
Right? The brand that I have is extremely patriotic. So if anybody sees my truck, they know that I love America. I'm a true patriot. I'm a veteran. I do roofing. And it makes them curious is why do they call him Doc?
And if you love
Yeah.
America, you love Doc's Roofing.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Right?
That
So
just sounds like freedom.
and it is, folks. If you ever want a great opportunity to come hang out and be a part of the Doc's team, shameless plug, come on by.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you.
Hey, he's not kidding.
Always
Somebody
hiring.
walked in here the other day.
Yes.
He's like, man, I know about like 6 or 7 salespeople. He's all, bring them. And I'm like, you don't even know these fools. But he don't. That's the optimistic look, though.
Yeah.
So, I chose my brand to be that communication of what is that,
That's right.
right? So there's the obvious, like Doc did, but then there's like Black Level AV. Like, what is that? Like, my business name has AV in it, but my brand and my logo, it just says Black Level, right? So I wanted to capture the attention immediately. And I wanted people to go, what is that? Let me Google it. Let me check Facebook, whatever it may be. So
Yes.
don't forget the fact that there can be some what is that in your branding, but it needs to be bold.
The curiosity factor.
Tell us about your name.
AX2.
There you go.
And
That just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
And he was Ashmore and Ashmore, right? So you, at one point in time, you were like, you know what? I'm going to rebrand and go with it AX2. Let us know what prompted that and why did you land on that AX2?
So, attorneys have a more stringent, strict advertising. You gotta bless. You gotta get a little ominous dominus from the State Bar of Texas, and it can't be anything misleading, and it can't be a brand name like Doc's Roofing. And I guess there's some lessening of that.
So some red tape behind it.
And so
So that's really why everybody
It-
uses their last name.
that's why you have to use your you have to use your last name. It can't be a trade group, right? Can't. Now that's changed somewhat over the years, but only a little bit. So my first, when I first literally left that good job in the city with the farmer, my only client got paid with a deer. Makes me, in the club, country lawyer, right? But I got paid with a deer. No.
I've never heard that story, but
Yeah.
we'll save that one for later.
Yeah,
For sure.
so met a dude at a butcher shop. He had a deer dressed out for me. He couldn't pay his bill that month. Anyway, long story long, the law office of KC Ashmore, Snooze Fest. It's like U.S. Mobile
Yeah.
Drug Testing Dallas, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Just too much.
It's
Yeah.
too right. So Jennifer and I formed when she joined the firm, Ashmore and Ashmore. And eventually that turned into AX2, Ashmore times 2. And that simply came out of some fantastic ideas. Katie Rice, our marketing director, being around Cardone Ventures, being around these inspiring people and trying to come up with something that was more captivating and that really defined our brand, right? So AX2 all the way.
Well, and it's like, it's one, I'm like, why did the state allow that to happen versus Ashmore and Ashmore? Like AX2, that doesn't let me think you're a lawyer.
Well,
Or is it AX2 law firm?
Well, I think he's using it as a secondary brand, right?
right.
You're
Yeah.
still
yeah.
LLC'd as
Still Ashmore and
Yeah.
Ashmore. It's just shortening up the
But-
deal.
That should just let the listeners and the audience understand that, hey, while your formation name may be something on paper, that doesn't mean that your brand has to be that, right? The state of Texas, they don't care what your business name is. They're getting that tax money, right?
That's
The federal
really
government, they don't care your name. They're getting that tax money. What you're trying to do is you're trying to create something that builds a culture that's attached to a brand.
right. And that culture needs to be attached to your core values, right?
Yeah.
So that something I do with our team, right? We're blessed to have yet another new teammate this week. Yana, welcome aboard. She's been great,
Congrats. That's
and
cool.
it's just a total blessing. But like
Guys growing like warts over there.
Hashtag AX2, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
like, bam, somebody does something good.
Yeah.
Hashtag AX2, way to go team.
Hey,
right?
while you're talking hashtags, if you're not using hashtags for your business, so that way if someone sees that hashtag, they can search that hashtag and they can see the 50 posts that you've done in the last
Right.
year, you're wrong. Start using hashtags in your business. Yep.
I think that's allowed.
That is, yeah.
That's the silent fleek.
The comms guy says that's a thumbs up.
We can
Lead
do
by
that.
example. It's
We can-
inspiring because it captures aspirations and dreams.
That's right.
And then people can check out your greatness, right?
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm Googling fleek right now. I don't even know what it means.
I tell you though, man, the word communication encompasses so many different things within your life, your business, your personal life. You have to really drill down on what it is you're trying to communicate as a business.
So
what you're trying to do as a business.
I'm
Reading
reading
to your clients.
Result oriented action.
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah.
Right.
You're talking
That's
to a client what?
like, isn't that what we're all trying to exemplify? Result oriented action.
Yeah.
Right. Not only on our social media presence, but in the brand.
Mhm.
Right. Docs Residential Roofing, Docs Roofing. It is a veteran owned, very patriotic, very pro America, black level AV. Look at that truck. Look at all the branding. Globe and Anchor, veteran owned, very patriotic, very American. Attention to detail, service oriented, right? But driven,
Yeah.
right?
absolutely.
Driven, right? And unprecedented drive, right? Drive that some people are like, man, how do you get up every day, day after day at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6:30,
No.
right? Or whatever the wake up time is, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got your, you're drilling down on your 30-minute, you're chopping your day up into little 30-minute pie charts, and you are just cranking out project after project after project and accomplishing. Look, man, turn off the TV. You'll get 1,100 hours a year back. That's a month.
Dude, I'm a culprit of that, man.
But I mean, you
Yeah.
work hard so you can
No, but that's
Netflix out.
That's
right?
very true. But there's also the times where it's not always dominate the day. It's not always go.
Yeah, you got to recharge the battery day.
Like, don't get me wrong, man. We all work hard, and a lot of people that I would like to say all of them listening and watching this work their asses off, right? But don't get caught up with the force of average. And I do this. I just caught myself doing this the other day. Like, why am I sitting here watching this bullshit TV show that I'm on my 3rd episode? Like, what am I really accomplishing? And it goes back to what we were talking about before we went live, was do that time clock for yourself. Every 30 minutes of your life, document it. Do it for 30 days. You will have no choice, but your mindset will shift and you'll be like, okay, now I'm seeing myself screwing around. Now I know when I'm not being.
Now I know when I'm
not
on.
being intentional with my time.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a communication back to me. We communicate to each other. You have to communicate to yourself.
Yeah.
And you got to be honest about it.
You definitely have to. And as we're scrolling through some of these notes, there's another form of communication that sometimes we might just take for granted. And that's our appearance and how people see us and how people see your business.
That's speaks
right.
volumes.
You know what I mean? I'm a t-shirt kind of a blue jean kind of guy,
Yep.
but I know that there are certain times that I need to show up and I need to look just a little bit better than average.
It'll be the time too that everybody shows up in t-shirts and this fool has a blazer on.
That is correct. And that shit's intentional. They're like, whoa, Doc, what happened? I'm like, but
Just felt like looking pretty today.
trying to show out. And but so it's
That's spot on though.
when you're running a company. I mean, you look at Amazon, you look at UPS, you look at Walmart, you look at these companies. You go into any restaurant out there, there is that uniform.
Yes.
The square
And
leg, yeah.
and if you walk into an establishment and you see the coworkers there and everybody's nice, clean, boom, boom, running in sync, you're like, all right, I'm probably gonna get real good service here.
Yes.
You walk into a restaurant, freaking the guys are dragging ass and their shirts are a mess and you're still trash on the floor. You know what I mean? It kind of makes you second guess if you want to work there.
Yeah.
Or if you want to eat there.
You just walk into
Right?
scoreboards. I
If
mean,
you-
what we just described here.
Do not knock scoreboards.
I'm sorry, scoreboards. I think
All
they're
right.
gone now.
Hey,
They
Gilbert
are gone
has
now.
a solid comment here. Gilbert, thanks for watching tonight too, man. Doc helped you with a time log today and now become my accountability partner.
Boom.
That's huge, fella. I just wanted to bring that up real quick because that is why we do what we do.
Yes.
So we can make leaders out of somebody who thinks they cannot be a leader. It's in you, people.
Yeah.
It's in you. You just got to dig. Sometimes you got to dig a little deeper every day, but you got to get it. Good on you, Gilbert. Hey,
Gilbert, way
don't
to
be
go.
slacking off on it. Do that shit right.
Well, I told him, I said, Friday, I want to see all of Thursday. So you just put it out in the universe, Gilbert. You just told everybody out there that you are now committed to doing this time log.
Yeah.
So be careful with your communication.
It's going to change your life. Just do it.
Right.
Be
You know what I
serious about
mean? On the same token, be careful with what you communicate out.
Right.
Because what you set free, I told you, you know it, Chris. Like, don't.
What-
it. Massenberg always has the most intellectual comments. We
Yeah.
love you, Chris.
Chris, tonality, man. Remember tonality.
Here's another one. Hey, it's 6:30. You're sleeping in Saturday, Casey?
That's right.
You know what? I do sleep in on Saturdays.
And you should.
I do
Mass-
sleep
Mass
in on
knows it,
Saturday.
man.
I do not set the alarm on Saturday.
I tell you what, Chris has been a long time follower of us,
Yeah.
brother. We appreciate you.
Thank
When
you,
you
Chris.
coming on the show, Chris?
Yeah, man.
Come on, I'm calling you out right now. Calms, Chris Massenberg, we need you on stage.
Yep.
But yeah, again, it goes back down to your brand,
Mhm.
to the perception that people look at you, how you drive your vehicle, and if your truck is wrapped. And I'm guilty. And this is why I can talk about this, folks. I ain't making this stuff up. I forget that my truck's wrapped sometimes. No matter how that.
I remind him when people call me and say, "Hey, ain't that your
Hey,
boy?
what was
Ain't
that
your
1-800
boy?
number on that truck?
Is that your boy that drives that Doc's roofing truck?" I'm like, "Yep." Let me hit him up real quick.
I can't tell you how many times I've fired myself since somebody's called me. And they're like, "Hey, man, you tell your employee that they can't do that shit." I'm like, "You know what? I'm on it right now."
I'm firing that
That guy
guy.
is going. You know what? Where was he located? You know, and
Yeah.
that way.
Maybe I don't want to get the truck wrapped.
Hey man, I will tell you this though. On a serious note, man, if you're a business owner who has a vehicle that isn't wrapped, I would seriously consider looking into that investment. It's a one-time marketing expense, and I get calls constantly because when you're moving and grooving and you're all over this town, your truck's seen
Everywhere.
right?
Everywhere.
So you get hey, how many of those trucks you got on the road? That's just me, right? You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line to it is really take a look at it. Call Jason with ApeWorks over in is it Rowlett, I think.
Brewer City.
No, ApeWorks. No, he's on the Rowlett side of 66. Anyways, it's a great investment for your business. But go back to what we've been talking about for the last 10 or 15 minutes and think about that communication you're trying to relay to the people that see that vehicle.
But projecting your brand, your presence. I saw, I'm on my way to Terrell this morning, and Jeff told me, A, B, and C, I'm doing this, that, and the other. And then I saw his truck rolling up the road, and I was like, yeah, already out in the morning. I mean, I'm out early. He's already out earlier than me. That's doggone impressive to see. Really doggone impressive to see.
Especially someone who wakes up at 4:30. See, I still get it in, bro.
Yeah, I know.
We get up when we need to.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I think, because I know we're getting close to the top of the hour, like
Is it?
your brain housing group,
About 10 minutes.
your brain housing group, everybody processes things differently. So things that we're talking about comms, things that you need to be aware to leave out of your comms.
Oh, that's a great point.
Right? Things to leave out of your comms, because people are going to be from all walks of life. They're going to be from all ethnicities, all genders. They're going to be this, they're going to be that. There's a 60% chance that morning that their world's upside down. They only had one cup of coffee, and they really don't have the time to be where their feet are and have their brain housing group right, such that they're going to ensure redundancy and clarity in what you two are communicating with each other. This is just normal life, man. Normal life. And it's, again, I really appreciate Jeff for bringing this topic to us last month so that we wind up this leadership series, right? But result-oriented communications, just like any result-oriented mission plan, right? You don't go into the mission going, well, we're just going to see what happens, fly by the seat of our pants, and hopefully we get hit with a big bag of money because we didn't screw this job up.
I'm going to tell you right now.
No, that's not how it goes. Doc, keep your mouth shut.
I was about to say,
You can't put on that many roofs with no plan.
Well, here's the deal, though, is that while everybody sees Doc as this like living in the chaos and loving that, the dude's a smart businessman, right? The guy's been in the game a long time. So if you're looking on the outside in, looking at Doc going, like I say sometimes, this guy's all over the freaking map. Sit down and talk with him. Hit us in the DMs, send us an email.
Yeah.
Sit down and talk with him.
Extremely goal-oriented.
I can't tell you how many times I stopped by here to pick something up or stop by to drop something off, and this dude's coaching someone, this dude's mentoring somebody, and they're sitting here intently listening to him because the guy has a heart of gold and he wants to help people out, and that's what we're here for. So when I walk in and see the things that Doc's communicating, it's things like accountability, it's selflessness, it's education, it's taking care of your body, your mind, your soul, all these things that wrap up into being able to clearly communicate your value to your customer.
Yeah. Employing those listening, those active listening, right? You got, where are your feet? You're paying attention to nothing
Yeah.
else. When you tell them, tell me everything. I want to know what the complaint is, right? Or you want to handle something, whether that's with a customer, with a client, with an employee, with a vendor, just tell me everything. Being where your feet are, actively listening to them, repeating back, right? Engaging in that conversation.
Well, communicating to listen.
Exactly, right? That's exactly. And so these are things to leave in, to pack into that communication, and things to leave out,
I
right?
want to throw in eye contact.
Yeah, that's a big
I
one.
I know this may sound trivial.
Not right now. I think not right now. I think it's
It's imperative. So if I'm really trying to communicate to somebody, and I'm locking in on you, man, like I will not stop looking in your eyeballs. I'm gonna steal your soul, because as soon as you break eye contact, I'm gonna win. So it comes down to the first one who speaks loses.
Yeah.
When you sell, when you believe, when you have conviction, right, and you're telling that person what you want them to listen to, right? You want to make sure that not only are you speaking to them with the right tonality, with the right message, but you're delivering it with eye contact, right? And if it's something deep down and personal, maybe you put a hand on their shoulder, you reach out for that handshake, or you ask those open-ended questions. Oh, does that make sense? You know what I mean? Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
What do you think we can do to move
because you want to
forward
know
with
that
this?
they're listening to you too.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if you don't engage back with them, because if I'm trying to really drop some knowledge on somebody, like I'm going to be intent and look at you so that you know that I'm talking directly to you, and that we are doing stuff. And I'm just momentarily moving and writing on a whiteboard what we just talked about. And if you're listening to me, I should have the same respect of the eye contact.
Yes.
Here's the other thing too with the eye contact. What people really love to hear is their name.
That's right.
And I'm the world's worst at that. I'm gonna just throw it out in the universe right now. I'll meet you. I might forget your name 10 times, but I tell you one thing: you listen to anybody who talks about the sales game itself, and every single one of them talk about mentioning that person's name at least 5 times during that conversation. It may even not be that specific number, but you get my point.
Yeah.
People love to hear their own name.
Yeah.
It's just a part of the human psyche or some shit.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
really
it's because we're called that by our parents.
Uh-huh.
We're called that name by our parents, and when we're called by that name, it has terms of endearment,
Yes.
right? It's connected to the love language. It's connected to the safe zone,
Compassion.
right?
Yeah.
Because when they hear it, they're like, "Oh, wait, that's what my mom and dad call me."
Yeah.
So it's a trust thing, and I'm just making kind of stuff up on how I interpret why somebody it resonates with people.
Yes.
And the reason I kind of feel confident in saying that is because when I am at the checkout line, I'm looking for name tags.
And this is the thing. This is one of the reasons why, uniform services, LEO, first responders,
Mhm.
it's last names, right? It's not familiar. It's not familiar, military, right?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's Redigan, get over here, right? It's not familiar,
Mhm.
right? So when you are communicating to a customer, you're on that little micro stage with the checkout lane, and you're like, "Hey, Mike,
Yeah.
thanks for checking me out today, man. That's so nice of you." And your customer service was spot on.
Mhm.
I had that job 35 years ago, and if I'd have done it as good as you, I'd be running this place or whatever, right? You're just on that little, but that familiarity and saying it over and over, repeating it.
And we jam, right? And then you end up jamming with them.
Yeah.
You're like, "Yo, KC, man, you looking good today in that suit. How you doing, baby?" Right?
Yeah.
That little bit.
That's
you know what I
it.
mean? That flares them up.
Yeah. And then what do you have there? You have that ecstasis,
That's it.
right?
You
You're in
got
a
it.
flow
We
state.
just fucking
You're in
flow.
a flow state. So you've got to the highest level. You're at 93 bowls, peak performance level, right then and there, just with that kindness.
Well, then
right?
they remember you.
That body language, that eye contact,
They remember.
that guy's memorable. You know what? When I need a roof, I'm calling that guy because he made me feel good just about me.
Because he cared.
Yeah.
Because that's what's wrong with our freaking world today, folks, is there's not enough people that care.
Well, here this.
But don't let me get down on this tangent.
Yeah,
I'll
let's keep
run
it up.
down this
Yeah,
freaking
let's keep it
rabbit
on the
hole.
upside. So
We're
let's
not going.
just-
That's over there with the.
Spread some kindness. Join my new podcast, and I don't even have one, but y'all come back and listen to my podcast. I don't have one though.
Yes.
Let me leave you guys with this, and then we'll talk some save rounds here. Different situations call for different types of communication. Your tone of voice, choice of words, and physical actions combine to affect those you lead and those who surround you. So just listen to that again and again and again, and write it down if you have to or whatever, and then really think about it, because your body language, the way you, if you're tactful with your words, the things you say, how you say them, can alter the entire conversation. Don't forget also that your communication is written, it's verbal, and it's your branding. So be careful what you write, because once it's in the interwebs, it's gone. It's out there forever, right? So
Same thing for an email,
that's what I'm getting
a
at.
text message, right? Once you have transmitted that, whatever your intent was, at the moment that you click send, does not matter. 0 F's given, because it's all about how the receiver, Jeff, you can tell us all about that. Does the receiver give a flip what the intention was of the communication?
No. So sometimes,
But what if I use a happy emoji?
well, you can do that too. But here's even one better for you. If you have an important message that you need to get across, call that person. All too often we stay too busy to where it's just a click, 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 boom, and I'm on my way. If it's something you need to get across that's important and is meaningful to you, and you think is going to be meaningful to your family, your client, your husband, your wife, whatever it may be, take the time, pick the phone call, pick it up and call. Because that text message, that's what I love about Google. Dang, I forgot to put some in that email. You got about 30 seconds before you can undo that son of a bitch. This one right here, once Apple gets it in their world, it's gone. So when you put it out there, it's gone.
Correct.
And what happens? Bam, screenshot. Look what this son of a bitch said.
Yeah, I'm putting that on Instagram.
Yeah. And then you're on Rock Wally and all the Karens are hitting you up. So be careful with what you say and be nice to people, man. And you say rounds, boys?
He's kidding, Karen.
No, I'm not. No.
Think about the result when you're communicating. Result-oriented, right? Result-oriented comms.
Yeah.
Right? What is it you're trying to, if you're just trying to convey that you're a butthurt customer, maybe you need to convey that, right? But what's the result? What's the goal, right? What's the mission there?
Man, look at that. Chris gave a little atta girl to Casey and made her freaking day. Look at that. The most important thing here, cost me $0.
Right. It's just a little bit of time.
Love that, Chris.
That is amazing. I mean, because it's so easy. And honestly, guys, I'm kind of a selfish individual.
Yeah.
So if I can make somebody else happy, the return effect is me being happy.
Yes.
100%.
Right.
Bro.
So
Yeah.
it's like, I need to be happy, like, because I used to live in sorrow and sadness. And
Yeah.
blah, blah,
You
blah,
can't
blah,
be a
blah.
champion if
Like,
you're
you
there.
cannot be a sad champion. Those two damn words don't even go together.
Yeah.
So
Sad champs.
sad champ, nobody likes that. It doesn't even work well. It doesn't even sound right.
You get a trophy for that?
But real talk,
Nowadays, maybe.
the biggest takeaway from today for me is going to be intentional with your comms.
Yes.
Because when you're unintentional with your comms, they come across in a bad way.
Well, the other person has the opportunity
The
then
perception is
to make up their own message.
right.
Yeah, and that's the thing that the receiver, right? And that's that cognitive. We were talking about that, right? You don't know that cognitive bias. I'm not talking about racial bias. I'm not talking about this sexual bias. It's just the way we interpret information that has to do with everything that is unique about all of us and what might happen to be going on in that. If their world's upside down on that day, at that moment, does not matter what you intended, right? If you didn't have champion, result-oriented comms outgoing, whatever they onboard, that's totally up to them, right? It's the perception of the receiver, and in their mind, perception's reality, right? And if you weren't a champion in that comm, you weren't intentional, right down to the granular nugget, right? That your intent was to communicate a championship level message to make them feel good, right? You're on that micro stage with that customer. Boom, right? That's going to, instead of the kudos that Chris was telling us about a minute ago, just that kindness that just changed that person's whole world.
Well, and he also said it changed his mood too.
Yeah.
Right.
Bam, right? A little paycheck to the heart.
Little win-wins.
Yes.
And that's what it's about, is win-win situations. One more saved round. Sorry.
No, you're
That's why I am a big fan of the guy who made emojis or gal, whoever did it, because I was just thinking back on that text message that I was talking about earlier today. They kind of upset my client. If I would have put a smiley face emoji or something to let him know that,
little
hey,
knuckles or something.
that
Yeah.
were lighthearted, then he would have perceived that conversation in probably a totally different way, right? So utilize the resources and tools that are at our disposal.
Yeah.
Be effective with your communications. Understand comms. Guys, this is second grade shit. We're not telling you anything you don't already know.
Exactly.
What we are telling you is to be more intentional with it
Right.
and dial it in so
Yeah.
that it becomes effective communication. Totally different than having comms and talking to somebody, but when you're intentional, you're effective, and you understand what the end result wants to be, I'm a firm believer that whatever you do today should have a lasting positive effect on you tomorrow.
That's it, man. Love it.
That's all I got.
Man, the only saved round I have is going to be a little trade secret here, and I'm going to share with the universe right now. You guys know the importance of video messaging, right? Right?
Yes.
Instead of a text message, maybe you can send a video message.
Mhm.
I have a client that was their 13th year anniversary. It took me all of about 15 seconds to pull my phone up, do a little video. Hey, man, I'm grateful for you guys, your clients, your friends. You know what, daggone it, happy anniversary. I'm proud of you guys. Sent that message. I tell you what, man. Boom. Man, I appreciate that. I never got that before. No one's ever done that before. That's a little trade secret. So if y'all want to go ahead and take some initiative and use that video messaging to your strength as a tool, like my man Doc just said right here, there you go. I just gave it to you. Free of charge.
It's the small things. Understand the resources that we have.
Yeah.
Implement those resources, but be intentional about them.
Yeah.
So
And
video
then-
message use. I have my guys
I'm telling you, man.
do it when I say, hey, as soon as you're done with your client, get in your vehicle, flip that camera around, 5 seconds. Hey, Mr. Jones, well, thank you so much for even allowing me onto your home to be able to help you out.
Yeah.
But here's what it does, folks. And I'm sorry we're probably running a little bit over, but
We're
I'm
good,
excited with this because what that does is now every time you send a preceding text after that, they get to see my ugly mug.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh man, they got Mike. And then they get to replay that message.
Or Gilbert's little pretty ass.
And or Gilbert's, and then I do birthday messages on Facebook.
Yeah.
And just right, happy birthday, right? And it's more because they deserve it.
But try to make it a little personal too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Doc is a man about the public birthdays, right? If you got a friend or a family member or even a client, send them a personal Facebook
Absolutely.
message video
Yeah.
straight from your heart and your mouth to their freaking inbox. I guarantee you, man, people are going to start understanding that you're not in this for the money. We've said it a million times. Don't chase the dollar,
But chase the profit.
but chase the money that's going to come to you from all the people that refer you business.
That's right.
That's the
Right.
money you're chasing, people, right there.
Yeah.
Don't chase the paycheck at the end of the week. Chase the referrals and the relationships. That's it. That's all I got, man.
No, man, that's great stuff. Good to see you guys again. Glad to have you back in the room, Jeff. And for all of our friends out there that are suffering with this freaking COVID, that are in the hospital, man, our thoughts and prayers are still with you guys.
Jeffrey, we love you.
Jeff, Lewis,
Boy, Lewis.
all you guys, anybody and everybody, right? I'm not secular. I'm like,
No.
we understand that this virus out there is bullshit. We understand, and I'm not a political guy whatsoever, but
Bullshit as in is we don't like it. That's what it means. You know?
got
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. Right. And
Um,
we are, we know it's affecting a lot of people. Again.
again,
But
so
here's the deal, guys, right? There's some things you can do, and we're not. This is not a political stage for us. Get outside, get some sunlight, drink lots of water, take care of your daggone body, right?
Get your
Don't be
headgear.
kissing people you ain't
Get
supposed
your
to be fucking
headgear,
kissing,
man.
You know, like,
Get your headgear. Stop
Handle
hanging out in
business.
the dump.
that's
Stop
it.
watching the news.
take away from nothing. If you don't take anything away from this tonight, take away what my boy Doc said. Be intentional with your communication that's written orally with your team, with your family, with your loved ones. Go out there tomorrow, crush the day, dominate the day, because tomorrow's what, boys?
$10,000 Thursday.
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 Hey, y'all be good. We'll catch you next week.